Well, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today?
Hi,
I'm so
everyone.
happy to see you guys. Holy moly. All right, so let me get this presentation up. For those of you who don't know who we are, my name is Catalina. I'm the owner of Modern Photobooth Company. I operate out of Canada, and we are in Ottawa, Toronto, and Calgary. And joining me today is Charlie. Charlie, I'll let you introduce yourself. While I
Hey, guys. I'm Charlie. Some of you may have met me already. I often do the sales onboarding. So, hi to everyone who did one of those with me. But I'm in the UK and my company is The Proper Booth. That's who I am.
All right. So today, guys, oh, stop it, Zach. I'm going to kick you out because I have the power. Out of the 7 million technical issues we had today, my microphone was also one of them. I did have a microphone. I actually hauled a 27-inch desktop computer up here just so I could hardwire it because Mac doesn't have Ethernet connections. Damn you, Mac. Anywho's. So today we're going to talk about closing every booking. This is going to go over everything, including, where to find leads and also how to close them. And you're going to get the perspective from two of us, two photo booth owners. So you're going to get weddings, corporate. We're going to go over everything. So please remember, guys, if you guys do have questions, put them in the questions tab, which should be here for you guys. You can put them in there, and we're going to have about 10 to 15 minutes to go over questions. So please ask all the questions you can during the presentation, and we will go over them at the end. All right, Charlie, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
So let me, here we go. All right. So before we can go over where to find leads, you need to know who your ideal client is. And I think this is the biggest misconception that happens when people are starting out. They're like, I need to flood everywhere with, advertisements. And then they're like, I'm not getting any leads. I'm doing Instagram and Facebook. I mean, we've all been there, Charlie. I'm sure, you and I both did that at the beginning to kind of see what would stick.
Oh, yeah. 100%. That is what you do.
Yeah, shotgun marketing. That's what I like to call it. I'm sure that's actually the term, but it makes sense where you're just kind of throwing it into the wind and hoping that you get some leads back. So the biggest problem with that is that you don't know who you're targeting. You're maybe going to get a couple leads, but I guarantee they're probably not going to be the kind of leads that you want. Maybe they don't have the budget for you, or maybe it's not the right style. If you've experienced this, please let us know in the comments that if you tried every avenue, you're just not getting any leads coming in. There's a reason why, because you need to find who your ideal client is first. So who is your client? So understanding who you want to target is going to help you figure out where to actually market. So if you own a company that sold skateboards, for example, you would probably want to advertise in skate shops or hang out at a skate park, or you would target people with Facebook ads and Google ads that have an interest in skateboards, and Photobooth is literally no different. You can't just target, if you're selling skateboards, you can't target people who are I don't know, into playing the cello. Maybe they skate, but there's chances of you actually getting that are pretty slim to none. So yeah, so photo booths are no different. You need to understand who your target market is first. So what is a persona? That is how you're going to figure this out. This is how you describe your ideal client. So your persona is like a blueprint of your ideal customer. You need to understand who your customer is and where they can be found. And in turn, you're going to then go and target those locations. So the questions that you're going to want to answer are going to be, how old are they? Where do they go for fun? What do they do for their hobbies? What are their responsibilities day in and day out? Where do they hang out? Obviously, are they female? Are they male? All that kind of stuff is stuff that you really want to understand so that you know where to find them. This is what most people do. When they first start their company, they're like, I'm going to target everyone who's having a party. Did you do that, Charlie?
Yeah, and it didn't work out very well, I'm going to be honest.
I did too. I was like, everyone has a party. Everyone needs to have a photo booth there, right? So I'm like, all right, everyone who's planning a party and they're, between 20 and 50 years old, they're male, they're female, it doesn't matter. They live in my area. I mean, I think that was about as targeted as I got. and they have jobs because they can afford a photo booth. So these purple dots that you see on the right, this represents that entire pool of people that I was essentially trying to target and what most people actually end up doing. But in this big group of people, if we actually look closely at every single one of these dots, there's so many different people. Like we have a wedding planner, 25 years old, female. Clients have budgets of $100,000 or more. They care about quality, aesthetics, and professionalism. Then there's also this mom who's 30 years old. She's planning a first birthday party, and she has a budget of $200 for a photo booth. I don't know where she's going to find that. But anyway, she just wants something cheap and fun that will match their party. And then there's Derek. He's 45. He's an HR contact. He's planning an Xmas party. He really doesn't want to be doing this, but he has a budget of $1,000. And he just wants something fun. The boss literally gave him a list, and he's just checking off the boxes. He doesn't care. I think we've all dealt with those people who are like, I just need a photo booth.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you're sending out a message, you're not going to be targeting anyone. No one here, if you send out a message saying like, oh, we have photo booths for rent, you may or may not capture their attention. So this is an example of what your ad looks like. So are you a human? I think we can all say yes. Do you wear clothes? We're all wearing clothes. Great, call us, we have clothes. Does anyone actually want to buy from this store? Because like, I mean, I like the colors, but other than that, I don't know what they actually carry. I don't know if it's my style. This ad is just very generic and like, you know, doesn't say much. And this is essentially what you're doing when you do that shotgun effect. Someone's saying, I can't see the ad. You don't see the picture with the person? Okay, good. All right, so if we decide then to hone in on just one of those dots. So in this example, I'm gonna go wedding planner, 25 years old, female, clients have a budget of 100,000 more, cares about quality, aesthetics, and professionalism. So within this group, we actually have 3 of those dots. So if I actually did an ad that was specific to them, then those 3 people are probably going to see it. And they're gonna be like, wait, that makes sense. And I'll give you an example. If I saw this ad, I would buy everything. Proud shoes, world's most comfortable and durable heels for event professionals that are constantly on the go. How many of us female operators have wanted to rock the heels at an event, but you know that after setup, you're like done. It's like flats, whatever the most comfortable thing you can get. Like Charlie, do you ever wear heels to an event?
No, I am like literally sneakers every single event now. I literally cannot handle heels anymore.
I know, same here. I actually went and bought like every color of these Rothesay shoes because they're like kind of dressy, but also crazy comfortable. So anyway, so yeah, so see, for us female operators, like this ad caught our attention, right? Like we would buy this, or really anyone who wears heels and goes to an event. It doesn't just have to be females, but that is essentially the target that you're going after, right? And that is what you want to do with your ads. So you have to pick your persona. And I know you guys are probably going like, well, I don't want to just pick one. Don't worry. So Charlie, let me ask you, what is your #1 persona when it comes to your company?
I actually have a couple, and we actually redid our personas just after lockdown. Actually, we had that time to really decide what we wanted, who we wanted to target. So obviously one of our top personas is going to be the luxury wedding market. We wanted to move ourselves out of the mid-range market and target the luxury end. But also, believe it or not, restaurants. Restaurants is a big persona. So anyone that works in the food and beverage industry is one of our personas. So that is one of the things that we worked on in a big way over lockdown.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm very similar to you. We actually recently decided to split our companies. So we have Modern Photobooth. That's the original, like the OG brand that we had. And that one focuses 100% on weddings now. So our target persona is wedding planners, actually the one that you saw up there. Wedding planners that have clients that have a budget of 100,000 plus, who really care about aesthetics, they care about quality, you know, and that is, they're female for the most part, within the ages of like 28 and 35 actually for us. So that's our main persona for Modern Photobooth. And then our other sister company, which is called Modern Activations, that one we actually target PR agencies, advertising agencies, and marketing managers. And that's because we do mostly corporate stuff there. So when we are doing our advertising, it's very different on modern photo booths versus modern activations. And this has made a world of difference. I can't even tell you, like, I can't wait because at PBX 2022, I hope you guys are going. I'm going to actually do a complete summary of this split that we did and give you guys hard numbers. So we're only about month 3 into doing the split, but it's already paid off leaps and bounds. So those are our 2 personas, and we have them split between our 2 companies. And this, again, like I mentioned, has really evolved into how we actually market and where we market. All right. So let's take a look. Sorry, to summarize this one here, these are the most common personas. So if we're going to go through a couple of these, and you guys should really be starting to think about not only what events are you currently doing, but what events do you want to do in the future? And if you want to target those events in the future, you need to understand who is doing those events and who that persona is. So these are the most common ones. Marketing managers generally are the people who do like brand activations, corporate activations, that kind of stuff, or events. We call them activations, but it's the same as an event. Event planners, you can go to couples directly. You know, not everyone has a wedding planner, and that is a persona. Going towards couples directly that are booking their weddings is absolutely a persona. Wedding planners, of course. And then private party Patty. I guess I gave that one a name. Either that or that's a spelling error, but we were going to call it private party Patty.
She is not my favorite persona. I'm not going to lie. She is way down my list of priorities.
Same, right? I can't do it either. Anytime I see an inquiry for like a first birthday, I'm like, no.
Pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Seriously. And there's some people who love doing that, right? Like, and that's great. Oh no, we lost Charlie. Charlie, you're so good.
My camera decided to time out, guys. I'm sorry.
All good. But yeah, there's people who do that really well, and that's great. Yeah, as long as you know who your target market is, it doesn't matter. You just go after them. I just know that for me, that's not my target market, and I don't really want to waste my time or my employees' time actually doing it. So yeah, so they generally don't tend to have the budget for our services. So that is why we don't generally tend to do them. We have done them in the past. I'm not saying that they're not, but there just isn't enough of them in our area for me to actually target them. Also, that many children is a lot of children.
There is that. There is that.
Right? All right, so let's go over some of these. Where do we find these high-end planners, if that's the one we're targeting? They are not looking at sites like Wedding Wire, The Knot, that kind of stuff. Not exclusively, at least. Maybe once or twice in a year, but I can guarantee you that they are not going to find their vendors there. They are usually referral-based. They use the same vendors over and over again. And if they can't find a vendor, they will go to their network of professionals and ask for references before they actually go to Google. They will attend networking events for wedding industry stuff. They will go to venue vendor parties. That is generally where I find them the most. And in terms of social, they live on Instagram and Pinterest for the most part. And Charlie is like a Pinterest master over here. Do you want to add a little bit about that in high-end wedding planners and Pinterest?
Yeah, so I mean, Pinterest is totally my jam. It's actually where we get a fair few of our wedding leads from too. Pinterest, you just need consistency, and we basically build our Pinterest out based on our blog posts. And we're very particular about how we curate our feed, and we can interact with those luxury wedding planners on there, which is really nice now. And Pinterest is always evolving as well. But check it out, guys, because a curated Pinterest board is going to draw in those luxury planners to your site, which is exactly what we want to do.
Yes, exactly. All right. So wedding couples generally tend to, and wait, I have to go back. I'm really sorry. I forgot to mention high-end wedding planners generally tend to have a larger budget because of their clients' needs, right? So they're going to be wanting a service that is literally top-notch. You need to be on point. I guarantee you that high-end wedding planners are not hiring vendors that are advertising themselves at events. That is not how that works. So like your name is going to be nowhere there. Maybe the email, that's about it. You are going to show up to impress. That is what high-end wedding planners want to see from their vendors, even their photo booths. And then we have wedding couples. Wedding couples, when they come to you directly, they generally tend to have a lower budget when it comes to spend on their photo booth. And this is because, they're doing it on their own to save a little bit of money. So they might have a day of coordinator, maybe even a month of coordinator, but generally speaking, they do not have a wedding planner. They also might even just coordinate with the venue coordinator there. So these people, they try to find their vendors using Google search. So this is where doing Google ads would be a good idea. Or they'll have a referral from a friend, or they will check the Knot or Wedding Wire or whatever other directories. I'm really out of touch with those because we don't use them. Facebook ads, really great for awareness. I'll kind of touch on that a little bit more. They are 100% on Instagram, Pinterest, and wedding shows. And again, wedding shows, I think, is another thing that you do really great. Charlie, I know your setups are like amazing. And we can maybe go into that a little bit more when we get into those sections. So corporate events. These people live on Google search for sure. They are looking for vendors on Google. They're also looking through referrals from friends, definitely on LinkedIn. Networking events is another one. And then Chamber of Commerce. I don't know if you guys have those everywhere, but like if you join like a business networking group in your area, Kelly, do you guys have those? Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, we do have Chamber of Commerce. They're not as massive in the UK as they are in the States, so it's not something that we do. But yeah, we do have them, but they don't work in the same way as the States for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Even here, I'm in Canada, and here in Canada, they're kind of the same. It's like hit or miss, because a lot of times you get a lot of people who just own MLM companies that are there to like sell you Arbonne, and like they're probably not going to have a photo booth. But every now and again, you do get actual company owners who have Christmas parties or holiday parties or do trade shows. So let's go over these where like the most popular platforms that people can use. So directories like Wedding Wire, all that kind of stuff. Again, these are usually where you're going to find more low budget clients. I actually polled the Photobooth network to ask and see if people actually have any type of success with these. And the majority of people said no. The only people who did have success with these do have a rate that is like between like $350 to $500 for an event. They also pay for their listing, and they have hundreds of reviews on their listing. So like it is a lot of work to get those sites to work for you. However, I still recommend that you sign up for it because it will help you a little bit with SEO, and just, when people search, they'll see that you are part of all of these different directories. And then Instagram. So Instagram is really great for wedding planners, personal parties for sure. And, really you can almost target almost anyone on Instagram. Charlie, what do you use Instagram for?
Oh, I love Instagram. I'm all over Instagram. I like it for vendor networking. So that's where we kind of talk to their preferred vendors a lot, and venues too. So we end up getting booked for a lot of events through Instagram from planners, which is really, really nice. And also corporate clients too. So we follow, again, like you, a lot of PR agencies and kind of marketing agencies and interact with them. And that also brings in some great corporate and brand events too. So yeah, I love Instagram. It's great.
Me too. Like I mentioned before, we just started using Modern Photobooth just for weddings. And so our Instagram account is literally just wedding related. I've also gotten really into doing like reels and stories and stuff, and it's really fun. I love reel recording day because we just spend a whole day.
You're a reels queen now. Like you're always on the reels, which I'm really impressed with that. Really impressed with that.
So much work, but so worth it. It's really fun. So I definitely recommend that you guys, if your persona is on Instagram, that you actually do that. Okay, Pinterest, we kind of touched on that a little bit already. Is there anything you want to add about Pinterest, Charlie?
I would say about Pinterest, you have to be consistent, and if you can link stuff back to your website, it's all about driving traffic back to your site. So a lot of the stuff that we post on Pinterest, we don't just automate it from, say, Instagram. You can do that, but it doesn't really work very well if you do that. It's all about writing those blogs on your website, linking them to your Pinterest so that you are driving that traffic to your site so that people can find you and obviously book you, which is obviously what we want to do.
So outreach isn't something that we kind of talked about on those slides, but outreach is when you literally will go out to talk to people. So this is networking events, like go to networking events. That is what you definitely want to go to. Talk to people, tell them what you do. People are really interested. They want to hear, especially when you're like, hey, I run a photo booth company. They kind of give you the side eye, like, is that a job?
We actually did a networking event last week. So we went and did a 5th year anniversary for an amazing bridesmaid retailer who are one of the biggest ones in the country, and every single planner, person who was involved in the UK wedding industry was pretty much there. So that's the kind of networking event that you want to do. And they got to try the booth out as well, which is amazing.
Nice. That's awesome. Google Ads. Google Ads, like I mentioned, if your persona is someone who is going to search for a vendor online, then this is a really great way to do it. That is a whole other class, guys. I can't even teach it. I hired someone to do it because I gave up.
Yeah. Get someone to do that for you, 100%.
Yeah. Seriously. Otherwise, you're just going to be throwing money at the internet. But we will find someone to do a class on that one day, and then I will probably hire them as well. All right. So let me get to the next one. Wedding shows, again, we kind of went over that. Those are people who generally tend to be a little bit more low budget. So if you are a high-end photo booth company, you might not find clients there, but generally speaking, you can get people there that have lower budgets that are anywhere from like $200 to $300, all the way up to, I would personally say max would be about $1,500 for a photo booth rental. Charlie, would you agree, disagree? I know you do more.
Yeah, I think the highest we've ever got was £1,800. So for a booth. So yeah, I would probably say that's our highest price we've ever been able to charge.
Nice. That's pretty good, actually. Facebook. So Facebook, there's different ways that you can do Facebook. You can join different groups, obviously. Like there's always like a your city wedding whatever group where people will ask for, recommendations, all that kind of stuff. You need to be active though. That is the only thing, is like you need to be on Facebook a lot. You need to be checking. You need to be responding to clients. You can do Facebook ads. Again, that's another whole other story. And yeah, you just have to be present. But you can get weddings and personal parties mostly on Facebook. I'm yet to really find anyone who's like massively doing a corporate event unless you're in a very specific group. LinkedIn, I forgot to update that one. It is not for weddings. That is for corporate events. Add people in your network that you want to work with. If you want to do corporate events, you need to add those marketing managers. You need to add people who are like their event coordinators, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Networking groups, we kind of already talked about that. And then trade shows. So trade shows are great because if you really want to target a specific sector, there is a trade show for that. And it is likely in Las Vegas at some point this year. There's like a trade show for lumber. There's a trade show for like, I can't remember the other one that when I was there last, it was like car parts or something like that. Like they have a trade show for everything. Crazy.
Everything.
Right? Okay, so what's next? Thank you, Google Home. All right. Once you've found these people, you're starting to talk to them. What do you do next, right? Like you need to collect their info, you send a proposal, and then you do a follow-up. Those are literally the 3 steps that you need to do. Charlie does an amazing class on proposals, and I think you can book that through Photobooth Supply Co, right? At any time?
Yeah, pretty much. Any onboardings that we do, we go through proposals in quite big detail. So yeah, jump onto one of those and I can talk you through it 100%.
Perfect. All right. So this is the information you want to collect from people. Personal information, obviously, like name, phone number, email address, their event info, the date, where it's being held, all that kind of stuff. Budget. I think this is one of the most important ones that people miss. Ask people what their budget is. Even if they tell you it is very low, it doesn't mean that they're not going to book. I can't tell you how many times people come into our like forms and stuff and they're like, I want this glam photo booth for $1,000. And then we come back to them, we're like, it's $19.99. And they still book because we're able to actually sell them on it. But at least knowing that they have a budget, that, what we need to do to try and help them with that. Yes, thank you, Cameron. So Cameron just shared that you can sign up for an onboarding there if you want to go over how to do proposals. I'm going to show you guys what those proposals look like in just a second. And then the other important question I think people miss is the goal of the booth. Why do they want to have a photo booth there? Not everyone has the same goal. All right. This is the proposals. Charlie, do you want to go over this a little bit more? I know you use these a ton. So do I, but you are the queen of proposals.
I love these proposals so much. And they were updated a little while ago so that you can actually personalize and customize all the text that runs alongside it. But using the Salsa software, essentially, you can create an event, and every event has a proposal to it. You can showcase what exactly you can offer your client. You can obviously show up branded assets in there. You even have a call to action at the bottom, which is going to encourage them to book with you, so you can get them to reserve a date, put down a deposit, email you, whatever you want to do. But essentially, it kind of shows them what they would get from you and how all of that will work together. And the cool thing about proposals in Salsa is that you don't just have to create them on an event by event basis. You can actually create almost like little master events in Salsa. So if you know that you're targeting, say, the luxury wedding market, you could set up a luxury wedding event and that proposal so that you could just email that out to anybody who inquires with you about that kind of event. So, and that could be applied to all kinds of things. But yeah, proposals is awesome. I love them so much.
Yeah, I do too. Honestly, that is what I would say we got most of our success from. We adopted proposals really early on in the game, and it is what set us apart. Now, you guys, like, we made them on slides back in my day. We made them in
PowerPoint, whatever you want to do.
I know, right? And now it's like this amazing tool that everyone has at their fingertips that is like so easy. So yeah, please use proposals. And if you're not sure how to do it, if you're a Salsa owner, sign up for that onboarding. Even if you're not a Salsa owner, sign up for that onboarding, and Charlie will teach you how. And then the follow-up. Guys, if you retain nothing from today, please retain this. You need to follow up with people who inquire about your photo booth business. Okay? This is generally like the minimum follow-ups that we do. We will send a proposal. The day after the proposal, we ask them if they have any questions, if they got it. Normally people will be like, got your proposal, thank you, we're reviewing it. It just is confirmation that they got it. And then we will follow up with them every week for at least 3 weeks. If they don't respond after 3 weeks, then we try different tactics. These are not all emails though. We do email, we pick up a phone and call them, we do text message, you name it. We're gonna try and follow up with them. Charlie, what's your workflow like after you send out a lead?
Yeah, we're pretty much exactly the same thing. So we will follow up to make sure they got the proposal. We will check in with them to see if they wanted anything changed on the proposal. And at that point, we'll pick up the phone, because most of the time people are not going to book the proposal that you have put out for them. So it's a case of then drilling down what is exactly what they are after with their photo booth experience. And yeah, right, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after, we even have a 6th month follow-up as well, automated in our system for any long leads inquiries too, so we can pop up again and see if they've booked a photo booth yet.
Nice, yes. And for those of you guys who may not use what is called a CRM system, you definitely want to look into one. Oh my goodness, we are on at the end of our time. One more slide, and then we're going to go into the 30 questions that we have. We're going to obviously try to get through as many as we can. Yeah. Okay, so in summary, this is what you guys are going to be looking at. Pick your persona, okay? Make sure you know who you're targeting. Focus on where your persona is. Do not shotgun marketing. Do not do that. It doesn't work. Target your marketing, okay? Collect your leads info, send a proposal, and then follow up like your life depends on it.
Get it in. Get that booking in.
Right? All right. Let's see if we can answer some of these. So Amanda and Cameron, I know you're listening. I am going to take up some of the extra time because we have a lot of questions. So let's see here. So at what point is too much without being a stalker when following up? Until they tell you to go away.
Yeah, what is literally the worst thing that can happen is they tell you to go away. Like, that's it. You know, not the end of the world.
Exactly. I think I did these backwards. I'm going to start at the bottom. Here we go. Charlie, this one's for you. Where are the best places in the UK for weddings? As in, like, to get married? Or, I think they mean to find weddings.
Target. Well, we also have a number of kind of wedding sites which you can be quite selective on. If you're kind of going for that mid-range wedding persona, then Hitched is a really great wedding website that you can advertise on. When we first started out, we got a lot of our leads from Hitched, so that's a really great one. But it's all about networking. The actual wedding community in the UK is really small. So if you can get in with some local planners or local venues, then they are going to hire you again and again for your events. So network, network, network.
Yes. Good news is about 20 of these questions are people asking how to mute the notifications.
I'm really sorry about that. I'm really glad that someone sorted that one out for us.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. From a marketing perspective, how do you ensure your marketing targets your persona? Okay, so we kind of went over that through all the personas, but you can always review this video once it goes live again, and we can go through all of those in the personas, but I think this was asked early on. Okay, so when you work with wedding planners or whoever, what do you recommend we give them as a commission or referral? Oh, good question. Charlie, do you want to start?
Yeah, we work in a couple of different ways. So we have some planners who refuse commissions. It's a bit different here, I guess, in the UK, but we do have some that just work on the basis that they love using us, which is great. Sometimes we offer a 10% commission on booking, which they then can either take for themselves or pass on as a discount to their clients. So we kind of leave it up to them what they want to do.
Yeah.
My camera's on again.
That's okay. We can still hear you. So I actually am not really a fan of giving commissions. Also, if they're a wedding planner, at least here, they're not allowed to take a commission unless they are a supplier, meaning that essentially you would run as their company and they are hiring you as a contractor, but they are the ones signing the contract. So if they are sending you clients, at least here, like I mentioned in Canada, they're not allowed to take a commission. However, you can give them a loyalty discount and they can choose to do what they wish with that. So that's what we do. With our very loyal repeat planners and stuff like that, we do have a tiered system based on how many events they book. They get a different discount and they can do whatever they want with that. They can pass it on to the client. They can keep it for themselves. I don't care what they do with it. They're just happy to get it. Asked, did I just say that I separated my photo booth companies for different personas? Yes, not so much for different personas, just for two totally different types of event streams. So modern activations really focuses on really large brand activations. I'm talking things that are like 30, 40, 50 plus $1,000 when it comes to actually doing those. Anything having to do with a corporation, it's a very different message and targets very different people. And then modern photo booth company, that one is for weddings and private parties. So it's we 100% just advertise for weddings, and that has really, really paid off for us. It doesn't mean that we don't get inquiries for other events. So don't be scared to, streamline your marketing efforts thinking that you're going to lose business in other things. People will still reach out to you and be like, hey, I love your wedding photo booth. Can you do this for my company party? So don't think you're going to lose business by doing it. It's just your message is going to be very clear. Any popular event rental tools or websites? I'm a big fan of Pixify. That's my CRM system. Charlie, not sure if you're on Pixify too, right? Oh no, we lost Charlie. Okay, the show must go on. There's a shortage of DNP 620 4x6 paper. Yes. No, you can't purchase it from anywhere. Let me tell you, Danielle, it is stuck on a boat in Long Beach, probably. A Peloton bike and anything else you wanted to buy. So you cannot purchase 4x6 paper. However, you should really try other medias. There's metallic paper, there's 5x7. You can purchase 6x8 paper and print doubles. There's a lot of ways around it. Don't just look at the one paper you're used to. There is a lot to be discovered in the world of DNP paper. Please go explore.
Yeah, metallic paper is my new favorite paper, actually, to be fair.
Right?
Yeah,
same here.
So good.
I love
so
it.
Good.
Okay, I'm going to try and find one more question because we are running out of time. Brandon asked, I'm going to do two. Brandon asked, what kind of content are you posting on Pinterest? You mentioned being very specific and intentional and curating your content. Charlie, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so we kind of, because our persona the persona we're targeting on Pinterest is luxury wedding planners, the only content that we will put up are things like styled shoots, which we've written blogs about, any interesting features that would appeal, so like glam booths, beauty booths, that kind of thing. So we will keep it to that persona. We would very rarely put any of our corporate stuff on Pinterest, and plus the things that we pin to different boards, like our inspiration boards, will also be based around that too.
Yes. Okay. So guys, I'm not going to be able to get to everyone, and neither is Charlie, but what we are going to do is in between this next one, we will go in and answer them in writing. I'm going to do one more though. Samar asked, what do you think is the best way to expand into doing more corporate events, given that they typically reuse the same vendors year after year and love referrals? You need to go where they are. So if you know that they hang out at like marketing conferences or they hang out at certain networking events, you should go and sponsor the photo booth for that event so that you can show off what you can do to this room of people. And when you sponsor the photo booth for that event, it allows you to brand the hell out of your booth. You can literally have your logo everywhere and no one's going to care because they know that you're sponsoring the booth. So that is the best way to get in. If they get the best service possible, they are going to hire you. So don't skip out. Give them the biggest package, the best prints, the best everything that you possibly can, because what they see on site is what they're going to want. All right, guys, we are out of time. Thank you so much for all these questions. Like I mentioned, we will go in and we will answer them as well so that no one is left wondering. Guys, thank you so much. We will see you soon. And don't forget, you have to stick around to win prizes. Bye.